So it looks like AJ Styles has retired from WWE following his loss against Gunther at the Royal Rumble. Now, it looks like it's just purely from WWE, and he's probably going to leave WWE and go to TNA and have a run there, even though, I mean, I guess TNA makes sense, but none of the guys that he was working with are there anymore other than Frankie Kazarian. It really would make more sense for him to go to AEW, but whatever. People will hate on me for saying that. But it looks like AJ Styles is going to go to TNA, and he had a hell of a run in WWE. Was there for 10 years. Had some great matches, some great title runs. This match against Gunther was nothing special. As you would expect, AJ Styles is 48 and Gunther doesn't really put on great matches like that. But yeah, I mean, the match was okay. A lot of chops, which I liked. It was one of Gunther's better matches since he's been champion, better than his match against Punk, better than his matches with Jey Uso, better than his match with John Cena. So it was a decent match, but nothing special, nothing generational, nothing that warrants, nothing that accumulates the ending of AJ Styles' WWE career like that, right? Shinsuke was a better match, but, a much better match than this one against Gunther. But, yeah, man, looks like AJ's done. When the match ended and he went out by the sleeper, terrible, another terrible booking decision. But when you come to expect it, you're like, I knew it was going to be bad, so whatever. And it was that bad. But, yeah, it was what it was at the end of the day. AJ Styles, he's getting old, and I don't expect too much from him. I wasn't expecting him to go and win the World Championship here tonight. He was most likely always going to lose to Gunther, but really the nature of the loss is the variable, right? And they picked the worst option they could, and he went out via sleeper choke, and he went to take off his gloves at the end of the match and didn't. He put them back on. So, in the moment, you're like, well, is he retired or not? Did he just go back on the gimmick of this match? But looking back on it, it probably looks likely that he's going to go back and join TNA and do whatever he wants to do there. And TNA desperately need more star power as well. There's a lot of love for TNA, but for me personally, I don't really see it. I know they've got Mustafa Ali, who's good in-ring talent. Mike Santana, who I guess is decent, was a tag team guy in AEW, didn't do a great deal, was a tag champion, but as a solo guy, accomplished nothing in AEW. But goes to TNA and becomes world champion. Frankie Kazarian, he's decent, but again, he's old, been around forever. So I guess it makes sense for AJ Styles to maybe come back and do something with Frankie Kazarian, but would have been way better if he could have gone to AEW and had dream matches with the likes of Kenny, Samoa Joe, do you know what I mean? Ospreay. The list is endless in AEW, but AJ, he probably made an agreement with WWE that he won't go to AEW and that he can go to TNA, because AJ Styles joining TNA isn't really like him leaving WWE like that, because WWE basically used TNA like an NXT developmental, right? Or like a NXT add-on, basically. But now that they've signed the deal with AMC, they seem to be in a bit of a better space and wanting to do their own thing. But it's still clearly an adversarial relationship between TNA and WWE, so it makes sense for AJ Styles to join there now that he's officially retired, quote-unquote, from WWE. But I don't even know what that means. How do you retire from WWE? You don't retire from a workplace. You retire from the job. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? You don't retire from WWE, you retire from wrestling. WWE is not a job. WWE is a company, right? But whatever, man. I mean, and then everyone, of course, was hating on Triple H in the post-show, rightfully so. I mean, I don't know why this guy keeps doing them, because the crowd, they're just going to chant things at him because he's doing a bad job. And they'll say, well, look at the ratings, look at the numbers and all that, whatever. The numbers are one thing, the creative product is something else, right? And just because they've signed big deals does not mean the on-screen product is good. That's the reality of it. Now, you'll have fans that say, well, whatever the fuck they want to say. Two things can be true at once. WWE can be signing huge financial deals, broadcasting deals that are going to make them loads of money, and the on-screen product be shit. Those two things can be true. It's unlikely that throughout the history and the way business works that happens, but in this particular situation, that is what's happening, right? But yeah, I mean, it was a okay match, and AJ Styles goes out with a whimper the same way John Cena went out. But I'd be super curious to know what you guys thought of the AJ Styles match against Gunther, and what do you think's next for AJ Styles? Is he going to go to TNA now, or do you think that's likely it for him? I'd be curious to know what you guys think in the comments below. Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.